Okay, so it's been now a week with this vehicle, so I've got actually quite a good feel for it now, and I'm just as impressed as when I first got into the vehicle. A lot of things are on point in this car. They put the right tires on from the box. They've got a set of good general grabbers, it really makes a big difference off-road. A lot of grip. Sure, it's only a 4x2, but unless you're going to be doing serious off-roading, it's got a diff-lock and it gets you a lot of places. It's only really sand driving where you're going to be caught with your pants down with this car. And then everything's very, very functionally laid out in this particular vehicle. The buttons are all very well made. The knobs don't feel like they're going to break anytime soon. It's not the most advanced infotainment system in the world, but it works. It's got everything you need. Radio works. You can put so you can listen to your favorite reggae tunes while cruising down the street in the new Isuzu X-Rider 3-litre. That's something that's really great about this car. I'd say power to weight ratio, this is one of the best I've driven all year. Because it doesn't have the four-wheel drive system, it's saving weight, and you can feel that in the drive quality. Speaking of drive quality, I put 5 big bags of wood in the back yesterday, and it drove so smoothly, almost like an SUV. So ride quality is good. If I had this, I wouldn't even change the suspension. The suspension on here feels really, really good. The windscreen wipers are a little bit on the weak side. I wouldn't say that's the strongest part of the car, but they do the job. An interesting thing, this is bare bones utilitarian in certain respects. It doesn't have a light over there, which I haven't really missed. It's got the middle one here, which works just fine. No cruise control. It's got just the basics, which I like, and a very, very nice feature that I haven't seen on any other cars is you can turn the radio off just in a flick of a button. If you're driving at night and you don't want the glare, normally you got to really work hard to turn the LCD screen off. Because I don't know about you, but I spend my life in front of the computer, and the last thing I want to do when I'm driving is sit in front of another computer. That's the gripe I have with a Tesla. It's just too much big screens. I see that creeping in, especially with electric cars. Just because the car's electric doesn't mean you need to have a big screen. But anyway, this is the last of the KB range before the upgrade, which is coming very, very soon to South Africa. I believe they're doing the press shots of that as we speak. So Isuzu looking to get my mitts on that. Thanks for hooking me up with this vehicle. The fuel economy is really, really, really good on this. If you fill up, it'll show you 800 k's to go. So I think they must have put a slightly bigger petrol tank in here than previous models. I'm guessing this is an 80-litre tank. If it's not, I'm going to put the correct amount there. But in terms of fuel economy, this vehicle is really, really good. And it doesn't. And I find with our Isuzus, it doesn't really matter how you drive. It gives you fairly consistent results. And in terms of reliability, I'd say this is probably the most reliable 3-litre engine at the moment on the market. Tried and tested. As you can hear, there's a bit of noise coming off the engine. It's not the quietest ride in the world, but that's okay. I like the sound of this engine. So who's your target market for this Bakkie? Well, I can see this being a great work Bakkie for your sort of quantity surveyors or foremen or farm owners. Somebody who's got near the top of their profession but still needs a good solid workhorse car, but wants a few luxury touches like the leather seats and that kind of thing. So this really does balance a few luxury touches with some bare bones ruggedness and toughness, which I don't think can ever really be a bad thing. Brakes are really, I'm impressed with these brakes. I was in one of the new brands Bakkies, and it had all the bells and whistles you could ever want, but the brakes I found were very, very average, you know. I think if you're going to spend money on a part of the car and make sure you got the best of the best, it's the braking system, which is really where you want to be on point, to use an overused word. Another beautiful day here in Cape Town. So what's this up against, ladies and gentlemen? Which most of the brands have 4x2 offerings, so this is going to be up against your Ford Ranger, your Toyota Hilux, the new Nissan Navara is out, but I don't know, it doesn't really get glowing reviews. It's more of a soft roader Bakkie than a hard roader. So if you're going to do big towing and stuff, the Navara is not the right car for you. This would be great for towing. The torque, I mean, you can just hear this. There's a very, very torquey engine. I think you could. I mean, it's got a 3-ton towing capacity, but I think realistically you could tow 2.5 tons quite comfortably with this Bakkie, and that's quite a weight. Things I don't like about this vehicle, the covering for the tub at the back is quite agricultural and difficult to get off. It's a design that I saw on Bakkies 10 years ago, so they haven't really gone for, but it's tough and durable, which is what this Bakkie is all about. So if I had one of these, I think I'd upgrade the bin lining, and the rear tailgate is not part of the locking system. So if you lock this, it doesn't necessarily lock the rear tailgate. But other than that, there's nothing else that gets on my nerves. It's not a big beeper, this car. The only time it really beeps is if you don't have your seatbelt on, which is fair enough, and if you leave your headlights on. The rest of the time it doesn't beep, it doesn't try and move the steering wheel for you for this lane assist and all these things, which I find sometimes can be overkill. Sometimes you don't want the car distracting you from the important job of driving the car with these warnings. I mean, and also there's enough alarms in this world and crap going on that you don't need your car beeping at you the whole time. That's just my 5 cents worth on beeping. So let's see what the handling's like here. Give it a bit of stink up the hill. It's quite noisy, but you get used to it after a while. You don't get that much tire noise. I know I say this every episode, but another beautiful day in Cape Town. You see it really does handle the corners just adequately. And off-road, it really comes alive. I did find it does squirrel around a little bit with a rear-wheel drive on gravel when you're giving it the beans. But that's to be expected, because you've got a lot of power going to the back tires. So if you are going to be doing a lot of off-roading and a lot of sand driving, I definitely recommend going for the 4x4 version of the X-Rider. I mean, that thing with a rear diff could hang with any Land Cruiser on reliability, off-road ability. You could put a bigger set of tackies on here. So for overlanding, I would recommend this almost, I dare say, over a Hilux, because the new D4D engine is quite advanced, and that's if you're going into deep Africa, where you can come across dodgy fuel, this one's going to handle it better. It's the older technology. You can run this on biofuel. So if you want to do the environmentally friendly thing, and you can go to green diesel in in Pardon Island or something like that, you can actually make this quite a environmentally friendly truck. Okay, let's dart it into the corner here and see how she does. Brakes, I really like these brakes. And look, no tire squeal. Responsive. You get a little bit of turbo lag, but not that much. And once the engine's going, it's really strong. Oh. Sun flare down there in the background. What a gorgeous day. Thank you, Jesus. Good towing circle, and this red pops. The red with black rims. Well done, Isuzu. You got somebody cool in to design your truck. So often I see the trucks and they look very dorky. There's nothing dorky about this one. Down at the harbour, and this car looks right at home. Could well be sort of a car to tow a fishing boat or something like that. Really looks good from all angles. The black on red really pops. And with the rear diff, you can get places with this car, and it's got the 3-litre turbo diesel, so the towing capacity is really good. The one thing is that the back tailgate is not part of the central locking system, and this cover they got on here is a wee bit old school to get off, but it feels very solidly made. This is an old school Bakkie, it's not a new school Bakkie. And that's what you got to remember. But it really does cut a good line on the Cape Town skyline. Out here, got the Corvette doing its usual lap around the Simonstown Harbour. We got Flappers back. Flappers is back, and we're down at the beach with the X-Rider. Looking really good. Yeah, we took it down to Cork Bay Harbour. Looked right at home there. Another one of the fishermen had an Isuzu as well. So this could quite easily fit. There's a good commercial Bakkie, workhorse, and a family Bakkie with a diff-lock. Gets you places. What are your impressions of the Isuzu so far, dude?
Spacious, strong.
Spacious and strong.
It's comfortable ride.
There it is, South African Navy doing its thing. Quite a zoom on this camera. Lots of solid underbody protection here, which comes in handy on the off-road track. Plenty of clearance, but when you feel this, it's good metal. Nice, simple, solid design. Yes, but this is the famed 3-litre turbo diesel. It's been in the Isuzu KB for generations. Just gets updated, but still keeps the same solid genetics. It's made it probably one of the best, I'd say the most reliable 3-litre turbo diesel engine on the market at the moment. And it's really made for getting out to places like this. So done a good 500 k's already with these tires, at least 150 of which was on gravel, and so far so good. Handling off-road is very, very good with the general grabbers. They're quiet and responsive, so far so good. Not the strongest sidewall in the business, but not the weakest by any means, and I like the aggressive tread pattern. So good all-round all-terrain tyre. Nice stitching on the car. Good leg room in the back. These seats are in normal driving position with somebody around 5'11", so enough room for 3 kids in the back. Up here, a little squashy. Simply laid out dashboard, easy to understand. And then in the front you've got lots of nice little features. You've got a cup holder here, cubby hole, another cubby hole, 2 drinks holders, big center cubby hole, and a little place to put your phone over there. So I've also got the nice stitching, comfortable seats, not the most side lumbar sports you're ever going to get. Good honest truck. It's all very much on point. On point Isuzu X-Rider for 450,000 Rand. It's tried and tested. It's getting and it's not that expensive. It can compete with the Mahindra on price and definitely on build quality. This feels very, very solid. And it's got the 3-liter turbo diesel. Oh! So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for a great all-round workhorse bakkie with nice comfortable seats, great air conditioning, class-leading reliability, the new Isuzu X-Rider. I'm tempted to give this a 10 out of 10, but I can't do 10 out of 10. I'm doing 9.5 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. The new Isuzu X-Rider. Well done, Isuzu, for being a proper Pakka brand. These are assembled in South Africa, I think, so you're getting local content. You're doing the right thing by supporting a company that's really invested a lot of money into South Africa, Isuzu. They got big operations in Port Elizabeth. Very nice company, great people working there. In terms of off-road ability, I took it to the Cederberg with my brother, and it really did well there with the proper tires on. It really does pop. And I actually went through quite a boggy section and managed to get through. So, you know, you can still do a 4x4 trail with this. I would just take a friend along just in case something goes a little bit awry. So, gonna probably have a week or two's break from the reviewing just to recharge the batteries, and then I'm getting the Mazda BT50 in September. Gonna take that to the garden route. Gonna have a big mission with that. Take it off-roading, give it the full shakedown. So we'll catch you next time on Africa Sideways. And if you'd like to support the creation of more content on Africa Sideways, car reviews, overlanding talk, 4x4 adventures, etc., please hit the thanks button at the bottom of the screen next to the thumbs up.